Welcome back to another GeekaWhat video, and today I'm talking and discussing the topic, is overclocking worth voiding your warranty? And in most cases, overclocking will void your warranty, because essentially what you're doing is you're sending more power and you're increasing the speed and pushing components harder than the manufacturer originally intended. So that does make you think, well, why do Intel do K series of CPUs that can be overclocked? Why do motherboards say overclocking optimized or overclocking friendly? If it voids my warranty, is this some sort of plan to catch me out? And it isn't at all. But Intel do design their CPUs to be overclocked. They just don't want to bear the pain when, shall we say, people who are unsure about overclocking, or some people that are incapable of properly overclocking a GPU or a CPU or any other component for that matter, they don't want to pick up the pieces for when someone else goes wrong. They don't want to pick up the pieces for someone else's incompetence. So it does beg the question, is overclocking worth voiding your warranty? And I'll go back to that question. Now, it depends for what the purpose of your system is. For gaming, if it's your CPU is reaching 100% usage and your GPU is not reaching 100% usage, then your CPU is the limiting factor. Your CPU is causing a bottleneck, because that is full and no more things can be sent to it because it's running at 100% load. In that case, overclock your CPU, because the chances are it will go down, the usage will go down, and even if the usage doesn't go down, it has freed up more space and more stuff has come along into your CPU. So for gaining extra performance for free, overclocking is a godsend on certain occasions. However, looking at the difference, if you didn't know, when Intel release CPUs, they tend to follow this sort of pattern. They tend to have a K-series CPU and a non-K-series CPU. For example, their flagship i5 at the moment, the 4690K, correct as of the video, the big newer ones coming out with Skylake, etc. The 4690K is the overclockable version because it has the K on the end, and then they also have a 4690, which is between $10 and $30 cheaper depending on the vendor. So if you don't want to overclock your CPU, you can save quite a large chunk of money, especially when it comes to budget builds, by buying the one that is restricted to not overclocking. So that also begs the question, should you buy a CPU that's worth overclocking, that is allowed to be overclocked or is unrestricted, even if you're not going to overclock? And I would say yes, because overclocking is something that maybe will be a last resort for you. And as long as you don't push it too hard, and as long as you go on a few forums around the internet, there are several good spreadsheets from reputable YouTubers and reputable forums that have achieved stable overclocks on certain CPU coolers for that certain CPU that they know work, that they know are stable. If you're going to try and push things up 200%, you're going to break something, and you're going to end up having to pick up the pieces for the $200, $300 or $400 CPU that you've just broken. So the original question, is overclocking worth voiding your warranty? In my opinion, yes. If you're getting a CPU that can be overclocked, you may as well overclock it, even if it's just 5% overclocked, or even if it's just a tiny bit overclocked. That extra performance can increase your frame rate, and overclocking doesn't really increase your highest frame rate, but it can drastically increase your minimum frames in a game, which can make all the difference. Sometimes it's the minimum frames you notice more than the super high maximum frames. If you have enjoyed this video, or you have found it insightful in any way, please do remember to like and comment, rate, and please do subscribe, and we'll see you in the next GeekaWhat video.